Hey, there we go. Hello out there. We're on the air. What a beautiful, beautiful day here. I like showing off the view here sometimes when it's nice. Some days it's not so nice. Pink sky, a little orange, some frost on the trees. You can almost hear the silence. You can hear Arnie drinking water in the background. It is Wednesday. It is hump day, and it is the daily Bitcoin journey. This is actionable. There's our guy. There's our co-host. This is actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners, future Bitcoiners, and dog lovers all around the world. Arnie's here, which means it's going to be a good day. I do have Arnie's wallet. Oh, I don't have his QR code up. We had to do a little meeting last night. Meeting of the minds. It was our first 88 sats meeting in about a year. That's the nice thing about Bitcoin is you don't really have to do anything. You just let it sit there. So we had our annual meeting last night for 88 sats group. And safe to say people are pretty happy. It's I talked about this a little bit, and maybe I'll start with this today. I think it's a good topic to start with. But anyway, Zap stream is rolling. I think we got it shared to Twitter. We got it shared to NOSTR. We're on the Zap stream. Arnie's here. I don't think things could be better right now. Okay, well, let's start with the 88 sats. So we had our annual meeting last night. People were happy. People bought in at we started the fund when Bitcoin was around $17,000 US. So people paid about $200, $250, $300 for a share. And we calculated last night that they're worth about $1,200 or $1,300 now. So that's after 2 years. We gave them a 10-year plan, 10-year goal, and we want to buy a golf course. So on yesterday's show, we talked about the same kind of thing. We're going to do a 2.0 fund with Bitcoin, with Bitcoiners, though, instead of golfers. It's not going to be a golf course focus. It's going to be on venture stuff. So if we see a local opportunity in the area that's earning cash, maybe put some money in that, maybe buy the business. Maybe if one of the investors wants to start a business and has a good idea and has a solid business plan that's going to outperform Bitcoin, maybe we allocate some there. It'll be 100 people. It'll be fully decentralized, just like 88 sats, which means that one share equals one vote. All shares will have voting rights, and any major allocation or decision will be made by the majority. So we talked about that. I put out a clip. We had about 10 people join the Living the Future yesterday who are interested in that. So that's pretty solid indicator, I would say. But I want to mention a couple of things because we talked about this on the second part of the show yesterday when we dove a little bit further into the fund. But I think I'm going to change it a little bit here, and people might not like this very much, but that's okay. That's okay. So what we're going to do is I actually want to really utilize the network. So I want to have people in different countries. So I want to have a maximum per country amount of people, amount of shareholders who could be in each country. So let's say it's 20, maximum of 20 people from Canada, maximum of 20 people from the US, and then you still have 60 people from around the world who will not only contribute their Bitcoin and their energy and their knowledge, but also the network aspect of it there. And I want to have 2 people per country. That's the idea. So if you're from, I don't know, Botswana, is that even a country? Let's go with Russia. If you're from Russia, you can't join unless you get a friend or somebody else has already joined from Russia. Or it just makes more sense because if you want boots on the ground, you want 2 people there. 2 is better than 1. And like we always say on the show, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So that's kind of the structure. And I actually want to, instead of just willy-nilly letting anybody in, I want to make this more like a country club in terms of, having a 15-minute call with somebody, asking some questions, see what their intentions are, see what they bring to the table. That's the one thing we didn't do with the 88 sats is kind of filter, I don't want to say filter people, but find the right group of people. I think that that's important, especially when you're going to be working together on ventures like this. I think the culture there and the knowledge that people are bringing, the demographics, the geographics, makes a lot of sense. So anyways, if you're interested in that, it's for Living in the Future members only currently, and probably will be just based on the demand. This thing's kind of taken off faster than I expected it to, just like Bitcoin. So that's kind of what I said at the meeting last night too. I said, we're up and things have been good, but things have been happening way faster than I imagined. Like in 2024 with Wall Street, with the ETFs, with Trump winning, with the strategic Bitcoin reserve, like this could move fast. I kind of thought $1 million after 10 years, but we might see it this cycle. Then what? Looks like the Zap stream's buzzing a little bit. We got a Soko over there. We got Sunshine. Haven't seen Sunshine in a while. Where you been, Sunshine? I like saying that. Sunshine says, I think I accidentally blocked somebody in the chat. Can I undo that? Yeah, I've blocked people before too. You have to. It's hard though, because you have to go to their profile and you have to unmute them from there. You can't, because you can't see them in the chat anymore. You can't undo that easily. It's one of the features of Zapstream I don't love, along with the fact that it has been working very good. But anyways, let's get back to the show. So the Zapstream is running. Let me see if we got any zaps yet. We do not. We're zapless so far. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to send a zap to our favorite rescue dog, looking at the sky, thinking about his life, you can send him some very easily. Scan that QR code, or you can send it to his wallet there, adoptedson98@wallet-satoshi. And the phone is right here. So the YouTube Zap stream is live as well. Hey, we're not doing that today, bud. Okay, let's get to some chats. A little bit more housekeeping here. We might as well start while we're hot. But a little bit more housekeeping here. A couple things I want to mention because I see some chats in here that are relevant. So I'm going to make some changes to the show. And again, people might not love this, but that's okay. Because for the last, 2 or 3 weeks, like I've been doing 2-hour shows here, 2.5-hour shows. I don't like leaving chats behind, so I want to finish the show, but that's not sustainable for me, right? And it's just for me, and this is a selfish reason, but that's okay. I'm allowed to do that. It's my channel. But for me personally, like it doesn't really make sense to spend another hour in the chat here answering questions because A, I don't have the ads on for the show, so I don't get any sort of money for that at all. But B, it's really affecting our podcast, I think, because this would be difficult for people to listen to for, with all the things, because I like interacting with the chat. I like bringing up comments. I like talking about it. But, in a 2-hour show, there's probably more than an hour worth of just bullshit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting the show in half back to what it was, an hour. I'm going to do more interaction in here. I like that. I think that's basically what the live show is going to be now, mostly. And then I'm going to jump off and I'm going to do a podcast. Not every day, probably. It's not going to be the daily Bitcoin journey. I'm going to call it something else. But I'm going to talk about a little bit deeper dives into subjects. And there's not going to be any breaks. There's not going to be any comments to bring up. It's just going to be a nice flow of a podcast. I think it's going to bring up a lot of value to people, even though it won't be as good as, talking back and forth and answering questions. But that's just how I see the best way forward for me. And I think people really like the podcast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some ideas from the blog, which is on Substack. If you're not a subscriber to that yet, it's free every day, daily Bitcoin journal. So I'm going to take some ideas from that. I'm going to look back on old shows, maybe revisit some things we've talked about, and just do like half hour, 45-minute, hour-long podcast, just me talking. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's just important to let people know where things are. Again, the 2.5-hour podcasts of me answering questions here is not sustainable for anybody, especially me. I see a zap came in for 121 sats, so thank you to whoever sent that into the chat. Still can't see the zaps, which is very, very, very unfortunate. But it is what it is. I can see them. I have the Koinos wallet opened up here, so I can see when they come in. I just don't know who it's from. So anyways, got a good show today. It's called I'm Not Selling. So we're going to start with our metrics and stuff, and then we're going to get to the main part of the show. I'll catch up with some comments here, though, first, because there was another thing I wanted to talk about. But before we do that, Ginger is the winner of today's 88 sats, just because he's been in the chat. Looks like he updated his name. I think it was Ginger Motorsports yesterday. I got a good memory. But anyways, Ginger, you're the winner of 88 sats. Not a great comment, but you're here. You're early. You've been consistently showing up. So you should be rewarded for that, in my opinion. So throw your lightning address into the chat, and we'll send a zap here live on the show. I see Pasty Janner's over in Zapstream. I see Daniel's over in Zapstream. And I don't want to offend anybody here, but I'm guessing that was Daniel who sent in the zap. Daniel's probably our most consistent, one of the top 3 for sure, most consistent zappers for the show. So shout out to Daniel. I appreciate it, man. Daniel said, did you ever hear back from Kieran? No. Are you talking to me or Pasty? And then Pasty said 2 hours later. So I don't know. I actually didn't reach out to Kieran yet. I should, though, hey? Let me add that to my list for today. Kieran. Zaps. Uncle Zaps, Kieran. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a sec. But we also got Buck 52,000 in the chat today. We got Ian. Morning, Journeyman and ladies. Thanks for including the ladies in there. 4.2% that watch the show. Dale, good morning, my friend. Is it as cold in Regina as it is in my place? Jay, good morning. Jason, another one of our most consistent viewers here. And we got BTC Backpacker in the chat today. Out in California, vacation with the family. There you go. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy that. I watched a clip about, I think it was last week, and it was Dana White talking about, what's important. What's more important than money? He said money is just a tool. Money is a thing you can use to go on vacation with your family. And when you're gone, you can't take your money, but the only thing that's going to remain are memories. And me personally, and he said this too, but I really related to this. But he said, when you die, there's only going to be about 4 or 5, a small group of people who really remember you. And it's going to be the times like that on a family trip to California, a family trip to PEI, a family trip anywhere. Those are the memories that really stand out. So just, enjoy that and soak that up as much as you can. I love that clip. I'm a big fan of Dana White, and that really hit home with me. Bodie, greetings, SAT, Stack, and friends. Providing some conflict resolution for some young people this morning. God's mercy endures forever. Cheers, Bodie. I saw Bodie's been posting a few videos over on his, I always forget it. Resilient Trauma? What's the channel, Bodie? I can't mess it up here for the people. So this channel is probably not for everybody, but my channel is also not for everybody. But Bodie has created a channel recently, and how can I find it here? I want to get it right. And this is for like first responders. It's called, I was pretty close. Resilience and Trauma Fitness for First Responders. That is his channel. So you can search that. It looks like he's just going to be talking, similar to this, talking through things for people who have suffered some trauma as first responders. So if that's you, definitely check out Bodie's channel. shoot him an email and connect, because that's, I think, what he's looking for, just to start a little community of people who are going through the same kind of thing. So good on you, buddy. New car or more Bitcoin? There you go. That's one thing we're going to be talking about today. That's the daily Bitcoin journal today. So maybe we'll put that on the back burner for now. Timber Crasher, good to see you, my friend. One of our Bitcoin journeymen, and another one, Duncan. Timber Crasher says, more Bitcoin, you will be able to buy multiple cars with that money if you wait a few years. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that noise was. Keep driving the old beater around, so as long as it isn't breaking down. That's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because if your car is like a safety concern and you're just putting it off fixing it or getting a new one because you want to save some Bitcoin, that's probably not your best bet, because that, I don't know the odds and the percentages, but I'm guessing that the older and shittier your car, the more likely you are to die in a car accident. So that happens to you, all the Bitcoin you've been saving for a price increase doesn't mean a whole lot. So consider that always with anything, but a car is a pretty important thing to be spending money on. Jay says, my phone from 2018 gave out last week. Hurts buying a new phone when I'd rather have the Sats. Pixel 9 is pretty good though. Well, Jay, you're going to be the next contestant on, what is it, Sats? Or no, I forget. This, it's the site where it says how much Bitcoin you'd have if you bought Bitcoin instead of a new phone, or 50 Shades of Grey book back in 2012. You're going to be the next contestant on there. But a phone's a pretty important thing too. Phone, car, shelter, good food. Those are things, and your health. I'd say those are kind of the 5, and family, 6. We'll go 6. Warrow's in the chat. Morning, ladies and gents. We got Cowbit. It's a familiar name. I think that might be a new member of the Living in the Future community. Good morning. Jason says, that hoodie is fire. Well, thank you. And this is something I did want to mention. This is part of the housekeeping today. But I'm going to give you guys early access to this today if you're paying in Bitcoin. This is going to be for sale tomorrow as we're calling it Golden Thursdays. Golden Thursday. There's Black Friday in the US. We're doing Golden Thursday with King. So with that, you're going to be able to get either a hoodie, a zip, or a polo, one of those 3 things, plus a King hat for $100 Canadian, which is pretty much like a free hat. The hats are worth $45, pretty much like a free hat included in that. That's going to be our big Golden Thursday offer tomorrow. But if you want that, we only have certain sizes available. We only have a limited quantity, and we're not going to be getting more before Christmas. So I wanted to offer that to everybody who watches the show today. I'm going to give you 1 day early. And so if you're interested, you got to pay in Bitcoin. That's the only caveat there. But you can get a hat, a hoodie, or a polo, or a quarter zip for $100 Canadian, which is about 110,000 sats probably-ish, plus shipping, because shipping ain't free. So if you're interested, if you want to get one of these hoodies, we do have this in black and gray. Gray ones are really sharp as well. I'm a big fan of the grays, but it really pops on the black. So if you want it for yourself for this winter, or you want to buy a family member, it's the perfect price range for most people, I think, the $100 range. So that's kind of the idea there. Arnie's really restless this morning. So again, if you want to take advantage of that, you can just shoot me an email, 88sats@proton.me. All my contact stuff is below here. Don't worry about going through the site, because if you're going to be paying in Bitcoin, you can just tell me what style and what hat you want. Rick says, don't forget to support the channel by smashing the like. Thank you, Rick. Let's see how we're doing. Let's check things out. See, this is kind of the reason why I'm starting a new version of the podcast for stuff like this, because, if I'm listening to podcasts and there's a big break or they're talking back and forth with things, I'm not very interested in that myself. And I'm guessing that there's more people out there like me. So we have 50 people watching, 32 likes. That's not bad, but we can do better than that. Elliot says, this is the first time we see behind the camera. Well, I don't know if that's true. I show the view quite a bit. And if you've been watching the show for the last year, you've seen deer, you've seen a cat, which we eventually fed and now lives in the garage. You've seen, I think there was an eagle on the tree, a bald eagle. You've seen a fox. It's kind of like a wildlife channel. But yeah, it's a beautiful view. That's why I like sitting here all morning. Lars, hey from Germany. Love your content. Thank you, Lars. We got a lot of people from Germany who watch the show. So cheers to Germany. I want to get there someday. Muslim Bitcoiner says, so glad we got rid of the paper hands. I'd be worried if we didn't, heading past 100K. And we broke the Kramer curse, I believe. Yeah, it looks like we're heading back in the right direction. Hey, Letha's over in Zap stream. Letha is in the house today. And we got 1,000 sat Zap that came in right around the time Letha showed up. I don't want to accuse her of it, but if it wasn't Letha, then thank you to whoever sent that. Ian says, loving the hoodie, got to order one. Yeah, so just say, you can go to the King website. It's knggolf.ca, knggolf.ca, and just pick out a hoodie on there. I would go with one of these. These are the new styles for 2024, black and gray. And we still have sizes in medium, large, extra large. I think we got a couple in XXL, but they are limited. So if you want one, if you want to grab a hat, just shoot me an email with your info and we'll do it with Bitcoin. Hey, this is, we'll talk about this, but this is a cardinal sin, Bitcoin. I'm so glad I became a whole coiner when it was 60K. In the UK, it has to be the best opportunity in existence. I mean, it's the best opportunity in existence, period. Not just in the UK, right around the world. Everybody's going to benefit from the Bitcoin. But Bitcoin. Number one rule in Bitcoin, and you should know this since your name is Bitcoin. The number one rule in Bitcoin, never tell anybody, especially not YouTube chat, how much Bitcoin you have. That's the number one rule. Oh, this is great news. I'm glad to hear this because I kind of put my butt on the line yesterday. Ginger says, I reached out to Bitcoin Well and they got back to me almost instantly. I got my 5 free tosses. What a great platform. Thank you. Heck yeah. That's good because I talked them up quite a bit yesterday. I said that they were a really good, their customer service is really good. So confirmed. Nate says, I've got a great idea for the Millionaire Club that is guaranteed to get 1/100th of the vote. Okay, is that me or is that you, the one? I'm interested in it though, Nate, for sure. That's the kind of stuff. You know, I'm just one guy here. And I do have a lot of ideas, a lot of big plans for the future. But imagine putting 100 Bitcoiners together in different parts of the world and the opportunities that are going to come from that. It's exciting. It really is. And so again, there's no real rush, but there is a bit of urgency here because the amount of shares are going to be capped at 100 and it's only available to Living the Future members. So if you're interested at all, it's for Bitcoiners. It's going to be run by Bitcoiners, fully decentralized. We're taking the 88 sats template and applying it to just Bitcoin investments, Bitcoiners. Okay, Ginger at coinos.io. Let's get that sent off to you right now while we're hot. Are we hot? I don't know. Are we hot, Arnie? He's gone. He's back and forth today. He's going wild. Okay, let me get this opened up here for Ginger. And do not underestimate the power of 88 sats. I'm telling you, this is a guarantee. This is a daily Bitcoin journey guarantee. What the hell is going on here? Okay. Ginger, that's another nice thing too. I'm going to be talking about Coinos today. I'm going to be talking about a few different things with Lightning. I think you guys are going to like what we're talking about today. But Coinos, Coinos is still very new, which means that you can pretty much go there right now and get an account like this, Ginger at coinos.io. How many places nowadays can you find a Ginger handle? Like those were gone 15 years ago. Try getting Ginger on Twitter. So you can still get we got Rescue at Coinos for the Rescue Dog Fund. Okay, Ginger at coinos.io. I got to pay attention here. There we go. She gone. Didn't want to dox my balance there. There you go, Ginger. You're welcome. Hey, Steven's in the chat this morning. How are you doing, Steven? Another one of our favorite countries, Ireland. Hey, we just got a zap. Oh, it went down now. From Duchess. From Lucky and Duchess, 1,000 sats. So thank you for that. I also see a zap here for 880 sats. Somebody sent in this morning. And a couple of 88 sats for adopted son. Thank you. Thank you. The funny thing about that, and I know I've told the story before, but there are always new people in the chat here, is when you create a new Wallet of Satoshi wallet, when you download the app and create a new wallet, they just give you like a random name and number. So it'll be like Ginger Butt 52 at Wallet of Satoshi. They come up with some really silly ones. But I downloaded this wallet for Arnie, and the name that they gave us, this is legit, Adopted Son 98 at Wallet of Satoshi. The only thing that could have possibly been better there is if it was Adopted Son 88, but still pretty good. It's meant to be. So that's Arnie's wallet here. That's his QR code. And thank you to those who have sent in a zap to our man this morning. Can you make the QR code bugger? No, I know you mean bigger, but we can't. It can't be any bigger than that. That's kind of like the size of the QR code part or the image there. So if you can't scan that, if it's too hard for you to scan, you can just send it to this wallet right here, Adopted Son 98 at walletofsatoshi.com. Oh, we got one person from England here. Look at that. Nick Intuit's in the chat. Cheers to you. Another frog. Oh, Daniel. Sorry, man. Daniel says, I never got my 88 sats yesterday. I tried finding you live on the show, but we couldn't find you. Okay, so we got Coach at getalby.com. Shout out to Daniel. He is, I think that's from his own Alby hub with his own Start9 server. So Daniel is fully in control of his Lightning sats, his node. Okay. Taking a little bit longer. Thinking about it. Thank you for the reminder, Daniel. I'm a man of my word, so I would never intentionally leave you out. You know that. Well, it's thinking about it. Might go through, might not. Hopefully your Lightning node's connected. Bro, do a kickflip. What? I don't skateboard. Daniel, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Let me know if you get it. Let me know if it shows up. I'm not a skateboarder. Think I'm Avril Lavigne. Think I'm Tony Hawk. Think I'm Bam Margera. Well, that's it. It's all the skateboarders I know. I don't think Avril even skates. Duchess says, good morning, Jor. Hope you and Arnie have a great day. By the way, thank you. Show the view out of the window on most shows. I enjoy the view you have there. That's Daniel says, problem processing the LN URL. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll get you the 88 sats. I know you don't need it, but it's still part of the show. So we can't shortchange you, of all people. Okay, well, we're having a hard time keeping up here with the comments today. But oh no, we're almost caught up. American Desperado, good morning, Bitcoin fam, Diamond Hands. Through the volatility. Yeah, how's things going today in the markets? How are we looking? Oh, 94,775. That's kind of nice. I mean, even though Bitcoin always comes down a little bit, it's nice when it starts going back up again without a huge crash, you know? Because those are MicroStrategy's up today too. That's good. Good news for the family. Kaplata. Bitcoin is easy. Buy Bitcoin, don't sell it. That's it. There's literally nothing else to it. If only it were that simple, hey? I probably wouldn't have a show. Hey, Josh, good morning. Morning from Ontario. Need to see Arnie or my day's wrecked. I wonder if he knows that. Well, he's been here quite a bit today, so you're going to have a good day. Josh, I did see your Signal chat. I just didn't have time. I saw it late last night and I didn't have time this morning. So I'll get you added into the chat here ASAP. Brian says, if you've been in the game long enough, you know we desperately needed this retracement. Hopefully we're on our path to attaining fuck you money. I mean, sorry for anybody who doesn't like the language, but I'm just reading as they come in. Retro Beaver, good morning. Kyle, one of our other new Living in the Future members. Morning, Kyle. And we get another German in the chat. Hi from Germany. Where in Canada are you located? Used to live in Nova Scotia for a year. What's your advice on handling cold storage for good accessibility, but also no single point of failure? Great question. So what I would say to that is I would say I'm in the prairies. I don't want to dox myself, although I show my view every day on the show, or almost every day. You probably work back. Although I don't think the Google Maps car has ever driven on the road here. So they might not recognize this in the internet land yet. But anyways, I love Nova Scotia. It's one of my favorite places on earth. I played some of the best golf there is in the world in Nova Scotia at Cabot Links and Cabot Cliffs with my family. That's going to be one of the memories that I have forever with me. And just a beautiful, beautiful province. I would definitely live in Nova Scotia if the weather wasn't so. I mean, the weather is pretty extreme here. But like that's a different kind of cold. We have a dry cold here. Robert says Speed Wallet is great too. I've never used Speed Wallet before, but it sounds like a lot of people are using it now. So I should definitely check that out. Speed. We got a lot of notes on the notepad today. Wow, we got lots of zaps coming in for Arnie's wallet too. I kind of like this. Somebody said, glad to be part of the journey and sent in 1,000 sats. So thank you for that. And somebody sent in 69 sats and said, let's fucking go. What a world we got. Brendan says, best lightning wallets, depending on what country you're in, try Speed, try Koinos. Wallet of Satoshi is a great one. Phoenix is a little bit more advanced. And that's kind of it, I think. Blue Wallet, it's not as good, but still works. Knox Bill, good morning. Knox Bill is also one of our, always in the chat, always leaves a comment. And one of the people I appreciate just for being here. So good morning, Knox Bill. Dale says, I just pumped this podcast on Twitter. I challenged everyone listening today to share this podcast on X and Instagram. Oh, thank you, Dale. Well, we got zaps coming in from everywhere here for Arnie's wallet. That's good. I mean, that's the other part too, is like, I said, the 2-hour shows aren't really doing it for me. I don't get anything for it. It's part of why I'm doing it though. Like I want to help as many people as possible here in Bitcoin. But I mean, if you don't have any sats to send, if you don't have any money to send, like the best way that you can support the show is just by commenting on the video afterwards, helping pump the algorithm a little bit and sharing it on any of your socials. So thank you, Dale, for that. It's how we find new people. It's how we grow this community and ultimately add more value to the world. So thank you, Dale. Are we laughing at the skater stuff? Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Oh, look at this. 4th of July, Mama's apple pie. Potentially our new favorite name in here. Potentially. Okay, what the hell am I doing here? Mempool, let's get to that. We're 35 minutes into this. I said we're not going to do a 2-hour show, and we're not. We're not. Whether I want to or not. Whether we got chats in the comments or not, it doesn't matter. We're not going 2 hours today. Okay, the Mempool, where you're currently sitting at block height 872.210. If you are transacting on the Bitcoin layer 1 today, paying 8 sats per byte. So I would say just, Foundry buggers. Man, Foundry just cleans up the blocks. I'd like to see a documentary on Foundry and their operation that they have there. I don't know where they're from. It says Foundry USA, but that might be a proxy for a Chinese miner. Anyways, fees are low. I would say 2 things to that. Let me take this off for a sec. 2 things on that. Number 1, if you haven't yet, if you're somebody who's just kind of getting into Bitcoin, if you've been in Bitcoin for a little while now, I challenge you. Your challenge for today is send a Bitcoin transaction, which doesn't mean sending from an exchange to your cold storage, which doesn't mean sending a Zap or a Lightning transaction, but it means actually going into Sparrow wallet, create a wallet in Sparrow, set up a transaction, set your fee, broadcast it to the network, follow your transaction from the mempool into a block. If you've never done that before, today is the day to do it. It's life-changing, truly. And if you've never done that before, I'm going to add more to my notes here. We did this about, 3-4 months ago, and I might actually do this again just because it was so much fun. I mean, it was very stressful, very dramatic, and kind of traumatic, but it worked out perfectly. So it's about 45 minutes. You can watch it. It goes through the whole process of sending a Bitcoin transaction from start to finish on layer 1. And again, I think that this is a very important step, a step in the journey, a step in the learning process for every Bitcoiner to see exactly what's happening behind the scenes there. Because when you send it from your exchange to your cold wallet, I mean, usually the fees are free and you never have to set the fee. They just charge whatever they want, whatever the mempool's at. But when you actually have to go in there and set a low priority, medium priority, high priority, you have to decide for yourself depending on how much time you have, and follow the whole thing through it sits in the mempool for a while until you set a fee high enough for it to be picked up in a block. And once it's in a block, it's there forever. So that's my challenge for today. And if you need help, if you want to see somebody else do it first, if you want to watch it, it was entertaining for sure. It was very stressful for me. We had to use the RBF feature a couple times because the fees kept going up on us, which can happen to you. So that's why I suggest that, be a little bit prepared for when and if you ever need to do that. Anyways, 4th of July, Mama's apple pie. Keep showing up because I love that name. So that's the mempool today. Let's see the metrics because I did take the time to do them today, so we should cover it. All right, the price today, $94,000. It's a little bit higher than that now. Let's say 94,500 USD. 1 year ago today, you could have purchased a Bitcoin for 37,252 USD, and 4 years ago, 17,108 US dollars. That's sad. Sad. Thinking about those days. It looks like we're cutting off here or something, are we? We okay? It says my connection's very unstable. So we're gonna have some coffee and wait for it to sort its shit out. Okay, we're coming back. Oh, we're back down to unstable. Fuck's going on here? Okay, we're back. If you want to be Moscow time, $1 US will get you 1,058 Satoshis. And if you want to be Moscow rich, you need 1 million sats, and that's going to cost you 945 US dollars. Oh, the internet again. What's going on here? Okay, well, we're going to keep talking. You can see the screen anyway, so you're just going to hear me my voice. I might cut out. But anyways, the price here in Canada today is 132,569 Canadian dollars. Canadian, illusionary, monopoly, totally fake, backed by nothing, ruined by Justin Trudeau dollars. That's how many it costs you. 132,000. That's bananas. Moose Jaw time here in Canada, the Canadian equivalent to Moscow time. $1 Canadian gets you 753 sats, the deal of a lifetime. And if you want to be Moose Jaw rich here in Canada, you need 1 million sats, and that's going to cost you 1,327 Canadian dollars. Okay, big shout out. Somebody also sent in 1,000 sats to Arnie, and somebody sent in 369. Ooh, like that number. 369. Sending good karma for the week from Jason. Thank you, Jason. 369, the key to the universe. How are we doing on Zaps? Oh, yeah, sorry. Sunshine said, don't forget the bunnies. We've seen a couple rabbits. There was a very small bunny rabbit in the yard one day. Okay, what else we got here? Let's give away some biddy. How about that? Christopher Langston's in the chat. Good morning. Hoddle, great advice. Hold on for dear life. PNC says, if you don't really have to exchange Bitcoin into something else, you want to purchase at any given point in time at all. That's true. Doesn't that mean you don't really have enough Bitcoin at the moment as well? Yes, absolutely correct. None of us have enough Bitcoin, but at the same time, we have more than enough Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind too, because you have to figure that you have to think about it like this, right? So you're only on this earth for, hey, we got 88 people in here. That's a good sign. You're only on this earth for a certain amount of time. It could be, if you're 30 years old, you're probably thinking, you know what? I probably got about 50, 60 years left. I don't have to worry about it too much right now. I don't have to worry about my inheritance stuff. I don't have to worry about my Bitcoin. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But you have to understand the fact that life happens when you least expect it to. And anything could happen to you tomorrow. Even though your life expectancy should be another 50, 60 years, it could be gone tomorrow. So just prepare like that. I mean, it's a very cliche saying, like, live like there's no tomorrow. But honestly, you have to apply that to a lot of things in your life. And Bitcoin is one of those things. But the other part of that too that I want to mention is that if this Bitcoin thing is either going to work out or it's not. And Saylor said that probably a year ago now or more. And he said, this thing's either going to 1 million or it's going to 0. There's no in between. That's how this thing's going to work. Right. So don't ever get too caught up in like trying to get more and like being sad or depressed about not having enough Bitcoin. If you have any amount of Bitcoin right now, and that's, the purpose of today's show is the I'm not selling thing. If you have any amount of Bitcoin right now, like, you are so far ahead of everybody and you're going to be so much more wealthy than you can even imagine. So yes, it's good to get as much as you can. Yes, it's good to add as much value as you can in exchange for the best currency that's ever existed. But just understand, like, if this thing works out, you're not going to have any financial worries again in your life. So don't project that into the future. Just enjoy what you have. Enjoy the fact that you're here at this time. You're not lucky to be in Bitcoin, but you're lucky to be here at this time. What do I know? Garja. Good morning. Ciao. Buongiorno de Florence, Italy. Have a great day. Nice listening to you as always. Well, thank you, my friend. Thanks for being here as always. Okay, Daniel's back up and running. We're going to try this again. Daniel, coach at getlb.com. $88 sats coming your way, Daniel. See if it works this time. There we go. Yep, there you go. Sats received. Mercy Me, good morning, George. Glad to be here. Have a blessed day. Thank you. And thank you for the support. I've been seeing some comments from Mercy Me in some of the videos. So that's a good way, again, to support the channel, is just to leave some comments there. So thank you. Oh, look at this. I love this new. This is kind of like the improved version of Zapstream because it actually works. I don't mean to crap on Zapstream. It's done really good work, but it's pissing me off lately. So we got a Zap from Steven to Arnie for 1,888 sats. Thank you, Steven. Very, very much appreciated. Trideca, been watching the exchange supply on CoinGlass and it just dipped below 2.3 million. How many of those are illiquid? The supply, yes. Oh man, this is what nobody's ready for right now, is the supply crunch that's coming. I don't know how it hasn't happened yet, but at the same time, it's definitely coming. So let me get up the Bitcoin well here. Let's give away some free Bitcoin to the people. Let's get our Bitcoin well code up there for people. If you're in Canada, if you're in the US, this is an absolute no-brainer. I'm going to talk about the strategy that I suggest here today using Bitcoin well. And I'm going to have to stop on the comments a little bit here because I really want to get through a few things here. Important topics. These fucking captchas drive me nuts. Nuts. I never get them right. Always makes me do it 10 times before I can do anything. And also, where do they even get the pictures from? That's what I was thinking about the other day. You know those captchas like of people on bikes and motorcycles and buses and front steps? Like, who the hell takes those pictures? It's pretty creepy. Okay, so let's give away some Bitcoin. Get your Lightning wallet out. Press the send button. And you got a chance to win some Bitcoin this morning. 500 sats minimum. We got any unclaimed sats in here? That'd be nice. Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go. $500 sats. Man, one of those days it's going to be 1 million sats, and it's going to be absolutely pandemonium. The clip will go viral for years to come. I might even take my shirt off if we hit the 1 million sats. So those sats are courtesy of the Bitcoin Well, the best Bitcoin platform in Canada and in the US, I would say. So if you're not set up on there yet, make sure you go to bitcoinwell.com/Jory. It's at the bottom of the screen there, flashing. And you get 5 free tosses into the well. So that's a minimum of 2,500 sats. Plus, you get free swaps on Bitcoin Well. My favorite feature of this. You want to swap between Lightning and on-chain? Well, I got good news for you. Am I hammered or is this really blurry? What the hell happened? Huh. Well, you can anyways. It's a little bit laggy right now, but I did my first swap last week. Send it from your Lightning wallet. You put in your destination address, your Bitcoin address, and it goes from your Lightning to your on-chain. 0 fees. 0 fees. Okay, we got Mr. Thomas. Great name. Jason says, spent a couple days in Florence last summer. Highly recommend. I've heard that too. I've heard that Florence is one of the most beautiful places in Europe. Wow. Let's pump the tires here a little bit. Rick, thank you. Keep it going. Every content you put out is highly appreciated. You're amazing. Nah. Again, this is just like, there's nothing crazy about this channel here. There's just two main things. One is be consistent, and two is focus on logic and common sense. That's it. The world is absolutely starved of logic and common sense right now, and that's basically what Bitcoin is. It's the fairest, most logical thing that's ever been existed, and it's worth talking about, and it's worth spending time in. Adam says, don't forget the rabbits. Is that a new Trump meme? Yeah, rabbits too. 2 people said rabbits now in the chat. And I see some more zaps coming in as well over in Coino. So thank you to anybody in Zap stream. Somebody sent 138 in. You know what? I just realized I didn't answer a question back here. I just talked about Nova Scotia for 2 minutes and then moved on. So anyways, back to Nick. Sorry, Nicholas. But nobody's nerfed. What's your advice on handling cold storage for good accessibility, but also no single point of failure? Okay, so here's what you want to do. This is my best advice for you. This is kind of like the progression of, if you're a new Bitcoiner or somebody who has like at least 1 million sats, this is your progression. So if you got less than 1 million sats, I'd say you're okay just using a Moon wallet, an Exodus wallet, a Sparrow wallet on your desktop. Don't waste money on a device until you have 1 million sats. That's kind of my threshold for it. Might as well just buy the sats instead and then wait. So that's the first one. The second one I would say is look into getting a single hardware device. And I'm going to bring it up here on screen. I got a bookmark now for easy access. Where is it now? Right here. So go to the link here, is it right at the top of the show notes? You can go here. This is from QuickBit in Regina, an authorized dealer of the Blockstream Jade. So you go to the starter kit. This is what I wanted to, this is my main goal with QuickBit, was to give somebody, a brand new Bitcoiner, just one package. That's it. You don't have to look anywhere else. You don't have to go to different websites. You don't have to order different products. You get a bundle and it has everything you need in there. So you go starter kit, you type in the code 88 sats, you get 15% off this price. You get the Blockstream Jade, you get the Bitcoin trading cards, and the big item in the kit is the stamp seed. And this is very important because the nice thing about this too is you're gonna invest in the stamp seed once. You're gonna get the hammer, you're gonna get the anvil, you're gonna get all the metal pieces or steel pieces here, the punches. But then you can always get more of these stamp seed plates, and they're much cheaper. You don't have to buy the whole kit every time. But so you start with the Blockstream Jade, you get it on titanium, which is what the stamp seed is. And then if you graduate to, let's say, a cold card or a multi-sig or anything like that, you can just get a new plate. I think they're like 20, 30 bucks. And you can just use all your old gear that you've already paid for, that you've already bought. And this is also nice if you got some friends and family. You can just buy this kit once, and then you can just buy stamp seeds for everybody. You don't need to buy the hammer every time or the anvil every time. Is anvil and hammer the same thing? I don't know. What's inside here? Letter punch. That's what I'm thinking of. No. Hammer and anvil. Okay, I was right. This is the anvil right there. So go there. The link is the very top of the show notes. Use the code 88 sats, save 15% off. They're very quick to ship. They've already shipped a few off. And the nice thing about that, the best thing for people right now, is if you order one of those, the first 8 people, I promise that you can get one free consultation with me to help you through that or to answer any questions, whatever you need. So that's still up for grabs, I believe. Dale, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong there, but the other option here that I wanted to mention for, somebody who doesn't want to take on that risk themselves, you could also look into a Bitkey. And I think they're available from where now? I would get them. Who was it? I don't know. There's a couple of big retailers now who are selling Bitkey, but you could also just get it from the Bitkey website. I hope Dale and Leander at QuickBit, they start offering the Bitkey. That'd be nice. because that's a really easy to use and it's a good like multi-sig setup. You're obviously trusting other people there, but for a lot of people that it's worth the risk. And the one thing I'd say to that, if you're buying like a Bitkey or any device, don't get it on like a marketplace online. Don't ever buy anything used. Don't get it from like Best Buy even or Walmart. But I would say QuickBit's definitely an exception to that. They are an authorized dealer of these. You got CoinCut on here. You got Trezor. You got Blockstream Jade. You got the Seedor, the Stamp Seed. They're an authorized dealer of that. So with that, you get much quicker shipping. You get somebody you can talk to if you have any issues with it. You're probably not going to, the shitty thing about Bitcoin is that there's really no customer service or customer support. So that's why if you go through an authorized dealer, and Blockstream actually encourages their customers to go through an authorized dealer instead of Blockstream, from my understanding of it. So you got faster shipping, less fees on imports, depending on where the manufacturer is, and you got customer service there. Plus a free hour with me. The Artisan Tube says, new to Bitcoin, but I'm thinking about pulling the trigger next month and buying, say, $1,000 worth of Bitcoin right now at the gate, and then DCA for 5 to 8 years and just stacking in cold wallet and holding. Perfect strategy. We don't need to spend any more time on that. That is perfect strategy. Sorry, Nicholas, I missed your, I got it. Don't worry. Jason says, no point in being the richest guy in the graveyard. Exactly. You got to enjoy yourself. We puffed her. Moose Jaw Rich, you like that? Tredex says, adopting Bitcoin sub 100K is going to be legendary down the road. Talk about early. No doubt. No doubt. Evan thinks that Bitcoin's going to go to 107 USD, then back down to 75. Evan knows the future. Evan knows. Here's the thing, Evan. It could go to 107. It could go to 207. It could go to 1.7 million. It might never come back down. It might go down to 60. But if you're just buying consistently and you're got them well protected, then none of that matters. It's just noise. ABC says Bitcoin can hit zero. Somebody will buy it a penny. I mean, that's a great point. But realistically, like it could still go down in value. So somebody said, nice answer, thanks, and sent in 88 sats to Arnie's wallet. So thank you. That's perfect. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, Cowbet. Here we go. This is a great point. Or great comment. Looking forward to the 3 mules on Friday. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like the show. Chris, myself, and Jerry have been conversing back and forth. We've been scheming. We've been planning. We got our name. We got our logo. We got our Twitter. We got our YouTube channel. Everything in the last 4 or 5 days. So we're not fucking around here. So we're going to be doing a show every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We did our first one last Friday, and we're going to be doing it every Friday going forward now. Pretty fun. I think people will like it. It's going to be a really fun show. There's not enough fun Bitcoin shows, in my opinion. So that's what we're going for. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Tarps off for 1 million sats. Yeah, I think that'll happen. We'll hit it and we'll see what happens. Brendan says, no matter how much I read and hear about, the only thing that seems to be 100% is that people always regret selling. Yes. Okay, that's a perfect way to get into this. Perfect way to get into this. So today's show is titled, I'm not selling. Hold on, give me a sec. I got to make sure that I sent this to the email. I did not. Missed one thing. Did I even? No, I didn't even try to send it. I didn't even draft it. What am I doing? What are we doing, Arnie? I was going to say I could trick Arnie into coming back here, but we're not going to do that. He might come on his own. But every time, I swear, and people can attest to this, every time we end the show and go to the second part of the show, Arnie shows up. As soon as I say bye-bye, Arnie shows up. But there's usually, it's got to be said the right way, and there's got to be some pause after it. So I don't want to mess with him right now. Okay, so where are we here? Oh, we got some new members. Video is blocked. Why? Blocked. Oh, it's not even like removed. Wow. YouTube going hard at me here. Hopefully I didn't get a strike for that. It says, hi, 88 Sats Radio. Copyrighted content has been detected in your video, the Bitcoin Investment Club. As a result, your video has been blocked and can no longer be played on YouTube. This is not a copyright strike and does not affect your channel. Wow. That is from Ozzy Osbourne. Fuck you, Ozzy. God, I hate YouTube. Okay, well, that pisses me off. Anyways, that's why I've been doing, I like doing the Bitcoin jukebox for the dogs. So we're going to keep doing that. And I'm just going to have to edit it like I've been doing and clip out the song. Okay, come on. What are we doing here, Jor? My God, man, I'm too stressed trying to get this done in an hour, but we're already over an hour. Okay, as we wait for this to show up, let's look at this email I got from, I subscribed, I guess, to myself on Substack. So I got a email from the Bitcoin Journal, and it's called The Big Long. And in the description, it says, this is not a story about a porn star. If you're not subscribed to the Daily Bitcoin Journal yet, you're missing out. It's a blog I do every morning. It's pretty short. It's like a 3 to 4 minute read about Bitcoin and other stuff going on in my life. And that's what how it started last early. I think it was Monday. This is not a story about a porn star, The Big Long. Okay, so let's talk about this quickly. I'm going to be diving deeper into this in the podcast today, but let's start with this. So the title of today's show and the title of this clip is going to be called I'm Not Selling. And we're going to give a shout out to, I'll save the shout out for now. So let's look at this. It's a tweet from Horse, the Flow Horse. So it says, if Saylor sold today, he would go down as having placed one of the best trades of all time. 4.9 billion so far. To put that into perspective, here are some of the biggest in history. John Paulson's bet against the subprime mortgages in 2007. Paulson's hedge fund earned approximately $4 billion by shorting subprime mortgages during the financial crisis of 2008. George Soros, scum of the earth, shorting the British pound in 1992. Soros profited about $1 billion by betting against the British pound, an event known as the Black Wednesday. And Jesse Livermore's shorting of the 1929 stock market crash. Livermore made around $100 million, equivalent to $1.4 billion today, by shorting the market before the 1929 crash. So those have been the biggest bets, the most profitable bets in history. And Saylor so far, before this bull run has even started, before the strategy has even played out, is up $14.9 billion with a B. So that's pretty impressive, right? But the most impressive thing here about this tweet is Saylor's response. Whoa, that was a heavy zoom, but good zoom. Saylor's response, I'm not selling. Why would he? Why would he sell right now? Why would anybody sell Bitcoin right now? Why would anybody sell MicroStrategy shares right now? Like, are you that blind to the situation right now? Do you have literally zero awareness what is happening in the world right now? Anybody selling their Bitcoin below $1 million right now is nuts. Guys got 14.9 billion in profits. You made $500 on Bitcoin. You're thinking about cashing it out. Think bigger here. Think bigger. Do you know where this thing's going? In the last week alone, we've seen 10 new public companies announce that they're going to be buying Bitcoin on their treasury. Rumble being one of those. Microsoft is going to be adding Bitcoin after their shareholder meeting, after Saylor tells them why they should be doing it and gives them his playbook. The cool thing about this for me, the coolest thing about this whole shorting of fiat is that Saylor's just saying, this is what I've done. This is how you can do it. And if you need help with it, I'll do it. I'll help you. $14.9 billion. That's what he's worth. He could just disappear off the face of the earth tomorrow. But instead, he's showing other people, other companies, and countries how to adopt the same strategy. Incredible. And I know that I had more stuff to talk about in terms of this. It's not coming to my brain right now. But that's what you need to think of. Oh, that's what it was. Going back to yesterday. This is kind of the main point of what I want to talk about. So thank God it popped into my head. But yesterday we talked about, somebody asked like pricing it in Bitcoin versus how do we really measure the value of Bitcoin? And so I said, instead of thinking about like the US dollar fiat price, which is a complete illusion, because we don't know how many US dollars are out there, legit. Like they give us a figure, but that figure has never been audited or verified by anybody. So we're measuring things in a currency that has no limit, is unlimited, unknown in supply, and we don't know how much US dollars will be in circulation in 5 years from now. So it's impossible to measure anything against that. So forget that. Forget looking at the price. Forget measuring it in fiat. It's completely illusionary and irrelevant. What you can do is, we just talked about a couple minutes ago, Bitcoin's either going to zero or infinity. And I'm betting on it infinity. And I think that Bitcoin's going to reprice the whole world. And yesterday I said, this is how you should be thinking about Bitcoin. So thanks to Craig in the Zap stream yesterday, we figured out that there are 2.2 billion houses on Earth right now. So how do you measure those houses? If you're not using fiat, how do you measure those houses? Well, let's use Bitcoin. So 2.2 billion houses. There are 21 million Bitcoin. So Craig calculated yesterday that each house in sats is worth about 4,000 sats. 4,000 sats. People say, get to 1 million sats, you're going to be able to afford a house in 10 years. No, we're not thinking big enough. We're not thinking about what's really going to happen here. And it's inevitable at this point, pretty much. We got work to do, but things are definitely falling in place for Bitcoin, and much faster than I could have ever imagined myself. And that's just houses. That doesn't include cars, because that's what you're capturing there. You're measuring all the houses divided by the amount of Bitcoin. You're pricing those houses based on how many Bitcoin there are. We've never had an asset with a fixed supply, truly fixed supply. The closest thing we've ever had was gold before Bitcoin. And so 4,000 sats per house. If houses were the only asset on Earth, that's not factoring in land. That's not factoring in commercial real estate. That's not factoring in gold, vehicles. So like, when, I don't know how long it'll take to get there in terms of when people officially measure things in sats, and that's when we're dealing in. But like, nothing's going to change between then and now other than the perception of it. Right? If you understand that there's 2.2 billion houses and there's 21 million Bitcoin, then those houses are already only worth 4,000 sats, which is fucking crazy. And don't trust that amount. That's what we learned on Zap stream. I trust Craig, but don't trust me. Do that math yourself. And then ask yourself, does it make sense for me to ever sell any of these sats? Why would I? Why would I ever sell these sats? So a couple of things just to go take a little bit further. If you do need to spend some Bitcoin, just replenish it. Like I have no issues with that. I have no issues with people moving Bitcoin around. That's what the point of it. It was a peer-to-peer electronic cash, but replenish it. Don't ever just buy a shirt with sats and then just, oops, I just spent 10 houses worth of sats on a shirt. Always replenish it because you're never going to get these sats back again. I just don't understand. I don't think that people understand how early we are and where this thing is going to. So in the future, it won't make any sort of sense to sell your Bitcoin. It'll make sense to lend your Bitcoin or take on collateral against your Bitcoin. That's what Saylor's doing. He's just buying Bitcoin now that he's going to use as leverage and collateral in the future. That's it. That's MicroStrategy in a nutshell. And you can do that with your own life. So the man who's worth 14.9 billion in profits, that's not his net worth. That's his profits on this trade. He's not selling. So why would you? You have way more here to gain and to lose than Saylor does. So I really want you to think about that. I really want you to take that to heart. And, even living the future, even in the community that we have, like one thing we said from day one is we're already going to start living this. It doesn't matter what the fiat price is. It doesn't matter how much they say Bitcoin's worth in US dollar terms. We're going to start measuring everything. One sat equals $1. And that's the mentality we have in there. That's how we operate. That's how we make decisions. And if you take it, down this path, that's like $100 per sat. So even the Living the Future community is selling ourselves short here. I mean, what else do I say? I just feel like we just cut it off there. I don't know. Okay, I got to top up my balance here before I get cut off. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, let me see if I can exit that. There we go. Okay, that took a lot out of me. Need a nap. Okay, we're topped up. We're paid. Our rent has been paid on Zapstream. Plunger says, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving to Eve, to my American friends. So Thanksgiving's tomorrow? I don't know. We do things differently here in Canada. Who's this? Oh my God, look at this. We're attracting all the gremlins today. Cardano, massively undervalued right now. Massively undervalued. And then says, LOL, 20 people watching. I'll save the shutout. Must be watching on the backup channel. We got 110 people in here, my friend. Not that that matters. We've been doing the show. We've been enjoying it just as much as when we had 5 people in the chat. But Lou G, go fuck yourself. That's my message to you. And if you're investing in Cardano instead of Bitcoin, you're a fucking moron. You have less brain cells than that elephant in your profile picture. Timber Crasher says, 1 hour show, can we hit 2 hours? We're well on track right now. Ashia Joseph says, do you recommend Trezor Wall for beginners? No. I would recommend either the Bitkey or the Blockstream Jade, which we just covered here. Blockstream Jade with the seed phrase on titanium. You want the titanium. You really want the titanium or steel, but titanium. Because you never know. You're putting your whole life's energy, and plus what we just talked about there, you're going to keep that on a piece of paper. What happens if your house burns down? What happens if a flood hits your town and the piece of paper turns to mush? Like, you got to take this stuff seriously. Just based on what I just said for the last 10 minutes there, you cannot be putting your private key, your seed phrase on paper and thinking that that's okay. It's insanity. Luke says 4,000 sats. I need to come back and clip that to show my missus. Yeah, I'll clip that for everybody. I'll put it on the YouTube. Because I mean, to me, I can't believe that nobody else is talking about this stuff. That's the thing that, you know, you got the people who received all the funding from like the Trezors, the Ledgers, the FTXs, the Swan Bitcoins, all those are the people who have like the biggest channels. So there's way too many people, you know, putting too much weight into what they're talking about. Yes, they've been in Bitcoin for a while, but it just blows my mind how very few people online are talking about the reality of the situation here. So that's why I started this channel, and that's, you know, it's growing, and I think it's going to continue to grow for that reason. And trust me when I say, if I wanted to go down that road, I get probably 5 emails a week from like crypto.io companies or the new crypto or the new game that people are playing. Like if I just wanted to get money for doing the show, you know, I wouldn't be worried about the living in the future people. I wouldn't be worried about the Bitcoin Journeyman. But I'm never going to entertain anything that doesn't have to do with Bitcoin. It's either going to be a small business, a local business like QuickBit, who we work with now, or a Bitcoin only company. That's it. There's so much more at stake here than just chasing quick gains, especially when your whole reputation's at stake. And again, I don't have a huge channel here, but it's meaningful to me. And I think that people trust that. I think that that's why 88 Sats has been so successful, how we were able to get 80 people. And I think that that's why the new Bitcoin Investment Club is going to be so successful, is because there's way more here than just some quick gains for me. A boot, making fun of my accent. I don't think I say that. I mean, that's a Canadian thing, but I don't think I talk like that. Look at this. Adam says, one of my first Bitcoin purchases was a very nice King hoodie. Then bought more Bitcoin to replenish what I spent. There you go. So if anybody wants one of these, like that's a perfect, you're going to pay in Bitcoin. You're going to get a really good deal. $100 Canadian for this hoodie and a hat, $100 in Bitcoin, and then replenish it. Chef Guevara. Wow, that's a good name too. Jay says, Luigi, you born loser. Yeah, probably already gone. I wish you would have got to hear my message to him. But anyways, AV's in the chat. Brendan Murphy. Lots of people here. Yeah, and people, this is kind of a catchphrase in Bitcoin, but people really underestimate what this really means. Infinity divided by 21 million. So we're not measuring the price of Bitcoin. We're not valuing the price of Bitcoin. We're not valuing Bitcoin. We're valuing everything else against Bitcoin. That's the thing that clicks here for people. And once that clicks, you never look at the world the same. World Wide Web with a nice woofer in the profile pic there. Just asked all my coworkers and friends, and they're not all buying and sold at 40K and will only buy back if it goes below 50. Crazy, holding my 0.25 forever. How many houses is that going to get you in 10 years from now? 25 million sats. Ballsy golf, like that one. Crypto Princess says, hey, I'm a crypto YouTuber. I interview other YouTubers about their crypto stories. Can we collab? I mean, yeah, I'd be happy to come on the show, except there's only going to be one crypto that I talk about, and I probably will shit on other cryptos. So if you're okay with that, then I'd love to come on anytime. If there's been a couple people asking that lately. So if you want to get in contact with me, my NPub's down there, my website, my email address, too much information probably down there, but just get a hold of me, and then you can set up, you can schedule a call, and we'll do it. But again, it's going to be Bitcoin only. World Wide Web says, can't wait to earn interest on Bitcoin like I did with BlockFi before they went under. I mean, it's your choice, but you always got to ask yourself, where's the yield coming from? How much risk is involved there? And me personally, I'm never going to trust a company like BlockFi, a company that's not, regulated. Like BlockFi, FTX, that was a complete shit show. They weren't even public. So I think that if I'm ever to loan my Bitcoin to a bank, it's going to be my local credit union here. And it's going to take a while, obviously, to get there, but they're going to come to their senses. They actually reached out to me a couple of years ago and wanted me to do a presentation to their board of directors, the local credit union here. And I never heard back from them. So that was when Bitcoin was about $15,000. It might have been before that because it was going down, and that's probably why they didn't reach out to me. But just like Bitcoin, this is kind of what I've been thinking about in my own mind as it relates to that kind of stuff. But, they say everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. And I think that everybody also gets Bitcoiners at the price they deserve. And so let's say that 2 years ago when Bitcoin was $15,000 and the credit union reached out to me and said, we want you to do a presentation to our board and to some of our shareholders or whatever it is. And let's say my price was $5,000. Well, if they reach back out to me in 2025, guess what my price is going to be? $10,000. Because I know in the future here what's coming, and the demand, just like Bitcoin, the demand's going to increase for my time, and the supply of Bitcoin is not going to change. And they're what's the word I'm looking for here? They're going to realize that their time is very limited in terms of applying this to their business model. So that's a lesson that they're going to learn. And that's the case for everybody. And I mean, well, hold on. I'll get through a couple comments here and then I'm going to come back to this. Future Stack says, this is the only channel that makes me want to stack hard and play hockey. I keep forgetting I have that stick in the background and the Canadian flag. My 3 favorite things right there besides Bitcoin. Actually, that you can see the BitAxe right below there. BitAxe, golf, hockey, and our beautiful country here, Canada. It's a nice little corner there. Nice little over the left or right shoulder. All right. Couple chats here. Ledin worked, but I think Ledin's still around too, right? Charlie says, should I sell my silver for Bitcoin? Oh, that's a good question. I'm actually going to be doing this on Friday. And it's going to be I'm going to make a little video. I'm going to go to the city. I'm going to take my silver. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to see how much I get for it. I'm going to do a video on it. And then I'm going to go to the Bitcoin ATM and I'm going to put that cash into Bitcoin. And I'm going to do that whole thing. I'm going to make a video about it and I'm going to post it to the Living in the Future channel. I might post it on YouTube, but probably not because I don't really want to be doxing myself for that kind of thing. So it's going to be a good video. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to show how much I got for the silver, what the process was like for the ATM. And you can do that in a very discreet way. All right. So the last thing I'll say here is just going back to my time. I don't want to shit on other companies, but I also have no issue doing it. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is just this is not hearsay. This is 2 people in the last 2 days have reached out to me. And there's one company, and I will shout them out in a negative way, Bitcoin way. And I know that there's people who have dealt with them. I know there's people in the Living in the Future community who have had a good experience with them. But I think it's still worth talking about here because from what I've heard, it's not good. So one person I talked to a couple days ago now, they went through the whole process with Bitcoin Way. They paid $4,000 US in Bitcoin. What'd they get with that? They got set up with a node They got set up with a cold card and they got put in their collaborative custody model. $4,000, a lot for that. But the crazy thing is that after a month, they ended their collaborative custody model and they stopped offering it. And so they didn't refund the customers. They got credits towards more Bitcoin Way learning. And then somebody else reached out to me last night, and I'll actually read the comment here. I mean, again, I know it's good. This is kind of how business has always been in terms of like never shit on your competitors, never talk badly about other people. But it's like, I feel like people need to know this stuff. And I don't know if anybody from Bitcoin's Way is going to see this or not for me, but I don't really care, honestly, because it's not fucking how you do business. So this is, I'm obviously not going to say the names of anybody who this is about, but this is another message I got last night. It says, I just got ripped off by the Bitcoin Way for 0.044 Bitcoin. So I'm a little hesitant. Love your content though. And then they said, I'm thinking of trolling every YouTuber that's vouching for them. Their fucking name alone pisses me off. This isn't the Bitcoin Way. That's why Bitcoin was created, to get rid of bad actors. So again, I know it's not good practice to talk negatively about your competition, but I think it's important to warn people, because that's absolutely insane. Never mind the, first of all, $500 to set up a cold card, insane. $500 to help somebody run a Bitcoin node, insane. And then to offer a service and then cancel it after a month and then don't refund them, insane. So what made me think of that was valuing my time. And even at my highest amount of time that I would charge, I would never think of charging $500 US to help somebody set up a cold card. So again, that's didn't have to be said, but I'm happy I said it. Just in case there's somebody out there who's thinking about hiring them, just look into it at least. I'm not going to say don't do it, because I'll also say that there has been people I've talked to within this community who had a positive experience with them. So all I'm saying is that's two things in 2 days or 1 day that I heard, and you should be looking into it yourself. Rajesh says, how do we start a Bitcoin only business? Well, join the Bitcoin Investment Club, my friend. We're going to have lots of Bitcoin businesses in there in about a decade from now. But Rajesh, what I would say is just like, do what you do it good, get a lot of fiat converted to Bitcoin. If you're good enough at what you do, people will pay you in Bitcoin. And if you get to a point where you say you only accept Bitcoin, you got to be doing very good work, but it is definitely possible. Luke says, who is George talking about? Did he say the Bitcoin Way? Yes. That's who I was talking about, the Bitcoin Way. Oh, stomach growling. Ballsy Golf says, looking forward to the silver trade for the Biddy video. Hey, good morning, Ryan. Yeah, I just figured people would want to see that. Not only the exchange rate, how easy it is, because there's silver and gold dealers in every city, but I think it's kind of cool to see, how much Bitcoin I can get for it, and go through the process of going through the Bitcoin Well voucher and getting that in a private way. I'll just say that. Worksay Bitcoin. I'm working on trying to grow a Bitcoin YouTube channel. Any tips? How long did it take for your channel to start gaining traction? Traction, I would say probably, well, I had a channel for a couple of years. I just posted some videos. I had like 50 subscribers. So I would say if you're doing it, either do it or don't. Like, don't half-ass it. Then I started doing it every day. Been doing it for over a year now, every single day. 235 episodes, I think, worth. And so you have to be consistent. That's absolutely number one. You have to be relatable. I think that's what I look for anyways. If there's a bunch of graphics and a bunch of, if I can tell somebody's just reading a script and not being genuine, I don't have any sort of time for that. And that's it. It took probably 6 months to get 1,000 subscribers or more. And then it was like after 3 months, it was another 2,000 subscribers. And then it seems like we're getting about 1,000 new subscribers every month right now. So just be patient, be consistent, be patient, and focus on it. Focus your time and energy on it, and it'll pay off. Bitcoin must be buzzing. Oh, Daniel, what are we doing here? We're half an hour late. Okay, well, let's end things. I'm going to do the first ever podcast today, so keep an eye out for that. I'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow on the show, but I'm going to go do that right now. So thank you once again to everybody for being here. Went way too long today. But if you learned anything, if you got any sort of value, make sure you're obviously subscribing to the channel. That's a no-brainer. But if you want to send some sats this way as well, you can send it to our guy, Arnie. That's his QR code. And his lightning address is at the bottom here. And thank you to everybody on Zap Stream for the sats today, for showing up. Zap Stream's been pretty weak. And it's nobody's fault. Not mine, not theirs, not Zap Streams. I mean, it's kind of Zap Streams, but I don't think they have a whole lot of time and energy to focus on it. So anyways, Daniel says growing pains of the Bitcoin way. Yeah, that's, I mean, I get it. It is tough, but I still really wanted to make a point of telling people about that, because you just need to, factor in, is it really worth paying that much? 500 US to set up a cold card? Is it made of fucking gold or what? Like, I don't understand it. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that people have been complaining about it, and I thought it was worth mentioning, because that is my fiduciary duty as a Bitcoiner. So have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow. And keep an eye out for the first edition of the podcast today. I'm going to release it today too. And you're going to like it, I guarantee. So have a great day. Have a great hump day. Hopefully you get in a hump. Anybody who sent in a Zap today will be getting an automatic hump. So we'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow morning. And here comes Arnie probably. Bye-bye. Here he comes. Watch. No, he didn't. He got up. There he is. Okay. Bye-bye. Tricked you, Arn.